Hello, and welcome to A Lady Well Traveled. I'm your host and creator, Shannon Bednarova, and I'm delighted that you've joined me today. If this is your first time tuning in to the program, I'm going to discuss exploring the world with new eyes, those that are open to learning, meeting new people, and experiencing new cultures, tasting unfamiliar foods, and walking down paths to visit ancient civilizations. I'll share the travel tips and advice that I've learned along the way to help you transform your travel into a more meaningful and less stressful experience. Now, if you've ever stood at the base of Machu Picchu in Peru, at the foot of a long cobblestone climb in Sintra, Portugal, or at the base of a pyramid in Teotihuacan in Mexico, and you're wondering whether or not your replaced knee or the one that still needs replacing is going to betray you, trust me, you're not alone. Today, we're going to be talking about traveling with knee or hip replacements. Now, whether you've already had the surgery or you're planning for a total knee or total hip replacement surgery, or you're simply trying to stay active while managing your arthritis in either one of those joints, then this episode is for you. As we age, most of us want the same thing. We want to stay active, we want to be curious, and keep exploring the world. And thankfully, modern medicine has made that possible for more people than ever. Now, sometimes genetics, injury, or just the wear and tear of life catches up with us. And when the pain becomes too much, and even after physical therapy, cortisone shots, hyaluronic acid injections, PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma, even stem cells, all of those treatments, after all of that, sometimes it just isn't enough. And joint replacement surgery can be the only thing that can give us our mobility back. Now, hip replacements usually have a quicker recovery. Knees take a lot longer and can be, shall we say, character building. I've been through it myself, and you can take it from me. But once you're on the other side, you can absolutely travel again. Now, unless you have significant medical complications, and they like to call that comorbidities in medical lingo, most people really do very, very well after surgery. Now, you're going to have some discomfort, especially with the knee replacement and especially during rehab. But you will walk again and you will travel again. So let's talk about how to make that travel easier and more enjoyable and really safer. So I'm going to give you some suggestions that I've learned over the years since my knee replacement, and I'm hoping that they're going to be as much help to you as I've found. And really, they're from my experience in traveling after a knee replacement and needing another one. So here we go. Tip number 1, walking sticks. They're your new best friend. If you take nothing else from this episode, take this. Buy a pair of walking sticks. They are, without exaggeration, one of the best investments that you can make. I've used mine climbing to the top of Machu Picchu, scrambling up the rock formations to Cecil Rhodes' gravesite in Zimbabwe, crossing lava flows in the Galápagos Islands, and climbing to the great Zimbabwe ruins near Masvingo. These climbs would have been nearly impossible without walking sticks, especially for me descending those steep, uneven stone steps. My goodness, they were really tough. And even with the walking sticks, I experienced some discomfort in my knees. Using 2 sticks is really like having 4 legs. It's really crazy. The stability is extraordinary. Now, I once met a fellow traveler from the UK in Africa who was struggling up this steep incline. He told me he'd had both hips and one knee replaced, but he wasn't using walking sticks. So I handed him one of my walking sticks, and even that made a huge difference for him. We climbed together slowly, steadily, and more importantly, safely. After we got up to the top and also descended, he thanked me so much because it made a huge difference for him. And guess what? He actually had walking sticks back on the train. So, if you're worried about looking old, that's another consideration that I've heard from people. Well, who cares? Europeans of all ages use walking sticks. They're smart, they're practical, and they let you go places otherwise you couldn't. Now, what to buy? You don't really need a fancy brand. I prefer collapsible sticks because they pack easily. Mine cost around $29, and I bought them from Amazon. They came with multiple interchangeable tips for different terrains, and I thought that was pretty cool. Also, I'd look for the collapsible design, wrist straps so that they don't fall off your wrists every time you're changing grip or whatever, comfortable handles, and a carrying pouch with a drawstring so that you can pack them in your luggage easily. That's it, and they will absolutely change your travel life. Trust me. Tip number 2, a soft knee brace. You don't need a high-tech brace. You don't need one that costs $1,000 that your orthopedic surgeon will give you. Just go to Walgreens, CVS, or Walmart and buy the cheapest soft knee brace you can find. So I would suggest wearing it on days with lots of walking, on days that you know you're going to be up and down stairs, on days with uneven terrain, or really, honestly, any day that you feel like it. If your knee is bothering you, put that brace on and wear it. What is it going to hurt? Use it when you're using your walking sticks. It's so important. If it gives your knee a little extra stability, that's a win, isn't it? Number 3, ice. Ice is the oldest pain reliever in the world. Long before there were cortisone shots, joint replacements, or any kind of pain medication, people used ice or cold. And guess what? It still works amazingly well. It's incredibly effective for pain relief, reducing swelling, and inflammation. And ice is available almost everywhere. It's at hotels, on cruise ships, trains, airplanes. And if you go to most restaurants, they'll be happy to provide you with a generous bag if you ask for it nicely. And usually they'll supply it for free. Now, how to use ice safely? Because that's important as well. Never apply ice directly to your bare skin. You always want to use a cloth barrier between the ice and your skin. Ice for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then make sure you rest, and that means taking the ice off of the area that hurts for at least the same amount of time. And never, ever ice an open wound or broken skin. Ice is simple, effective, and it's often overlooked as an effective pain reliever. So remember to ice. Tip number 4, ibuprofen or naproxen sodium. Bring your preferred over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medication. Use it responsibly and according to your doctor's guidance. It can make the difference between powering through a day and suffering through it. Now, those of you who cannot take anti-inflammatories, you may want to bring along acetaminophen. Bring along an over-the-counter pain reliever or anti-inflammatory. And make sure, if your tummy gets upset, that you're eating it with food. But always, always check with your physician before doing this and before traveling. Tip number 5. This is the last tip I'm going to give you, and it's rest. This is the most underrated travel tip of all. I can't emphasize this enough. Rest when you need to rest. How important is that? Now, traveling solo makes this easy. Traveling with friends or a tour group can make you feel guilty about that, like you're slowing everybody down or you're making people wait for you. But here's the real truth. Anybody who cares about you will be happy to take a break. And when I travel with friends, we walk miles every single day, but we build in coffee stops, Aperol spritz breaks, bathroom breaks, photo breaks, bench sitting and people watching breaks. We do all of that during our day, so we get little micro stops and micro rests. And these little pauses are not inconveniences. They're just part of the joy of travel. They're wonderful ways to stop, enjoy the local culture, meet local people, sample local fare, taste a drink, have an ice cream, whatever. But they also give you a chance to rest and renew. Now, on a tour, if you're on a structured itinerary with a group, tell your tour leader when you need a break. And if you need to, skip activities when necessary. I know that no one wants to skip an activity, but goodness gracious, wouldn't you rather stop and maybe skip something for an hour or two than have to miss an entire day of activities because you did too much? Also, you can rest on the bus between activities if you're on a boat, a train, or at the lodge or hotel. You know that you're going to get some rest between activities. Now, on my Galápagos trip, I thought it was really interesting because one older couple would snorkel in the morning, but they would skip the afternoon snorkel trip because they wanted to lounge on the sun deck and have gin and tonics and read their book. And then they would rejoin the evening act. And that was perfect. So like when I went on safari, you could choose the easier walk or the harder climb. You could do things based on what you could do and your activity level. Skip the outing entirely if you needed to, if you needed a break and needed to rest. And then you could enjoy room service and playing games in the lounge on the train. It was entirely up to you because guess what? You paid for the trip. You get to decide how to experience it. And isn't that the point? Now stop Griswolding your travel. Quit cramming every possible activity into the shortest time frame. That's an amateur travel mistake, and it's something that you really need to stop doing. Build in rest, sleep in occasionally, slow down. You'll enjoy your trip so much more if you stop and smell the roses. So in closing, traveling with a knee or a hip replacement or with any joints that should be replaced is absolutely possible. With the right tools, the right planning and pacing, and the right positive mindset, you can explore the world with confidence. So remember, walking sticks, a soft brace, over-the-counter pain or anti-inflammatory medication, and rest. These simple things can open up entire continents for you. And remember, mobility challenges don't diminish your spirit as a traveler. They simply make you more intentional, more prepared, and more appreciative of the journey as a whole. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of A Lady Well Traveled, and you can reach me at Shannon at aladywelltraveled.com. That's Shannon at aladywelltraveled.com. If you'd like to give me feedback, I'd also appreciate a review. And you can refer friends or family to me. I'm on all the streaming platforms and also on YouTube. And remember, God created this beautiful world just for you. All you have to do is get out there and see it. So until next time, bye-bye.